Hey quilting friends, I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into the top 5 quilt care mistakes that you can make and how to avoid them. Plus, I have a really great tip for you if you're like me and the number of quilts in your house outnumber the number of people in your home. You'll want to check out this storage solution that I have for you. But first, I want to hear something from you. If you've ever had a quilt care horror story, put it down in the comments down below. Let's swap some stories back and forth so that we can avoid having those little issues happen to each other. That's what we do here. I like to share what goes on in my sewing studio so that you can learn from the mistakes that I make, and I can teach you the things to make your quilting and your quilting life much more fun. And life is just better when you get to do it with a friend. One more thing to mention before we dive into the first mistake is that I have a free quilt care download that you can print off and give with every single one of your quilts. You see this right here? This is something that I give away with every single one of my quilts, and it makes a huge difference in my own sanity knowing that I'm doing everything I can to take care of those quilts. You can get that for free when you go down to the description box down below this video, click on the link, and I'll email you that sheet so that you have the exact instructions to take care of your quilt. You spend a lot of time on your quilts, you spend a lot of money on your quilts to get these gorgeous handmade quilts made. Okay, let's dive into the 5 mistakes that are going to kill your quilts faster. Mistake number 1 is washing your quilts too frequently. Or let's add to that, incorrectly, okay? Your quilt is to be washed gently, okay? If you spill a little bit of coffee on one corner of your quilt, the whole thing does not need to be tossed into the washing machine on a heavy load on the hottest water setting possible with all of the strong detergents and all of the strong fabric softeners and everything in it. It doesn't need to happen. Okay, it doesn't need to happen that way. If you want your quilt to last a very long time, generally, I could sum it up as I want my quilts to last longer than me. Obviously, after I'm gone, there's not really much I can do, but I would like my quilts to last longer than me. As many quilters as there are out there in the world, that's how many different opinions you're going to get on this subject, but I'm giving you my 2 cents and my knowledge in the quilting world, as well as having talked to other experts in the industry as well. And what we've kind of come up with is the best way to keep your quilt looking fresh for a long time. Most quilts that are like a display quilt or like just goes over the back of the couch, it doesn't have to be washed every single week. Excessive washing can wear down your quilts over time, and that harsh agitation in the machine washer can eventually wear down your stitches that are delicate from your sewing machine or from hand stitching. I recommend that you wash your quilts only when necessary. If the dog jumps on the couch and goes mud all over the quilt and you can't spot clean it, it's okay to do a full wash. It's okay to wash your quilts. I'm not saying don't wash your quilts because ew. But if it's time to wash your quilt, put your quilt in the washing machine, or you can hand wash it. I personally I'm a fan of the washing machine, and I always do mine on cold water with a gentle cycle and a very gentle detergent. I don't use a lot of fabric softeners in there. If the quilt is brand new, I do use color catchers. These things right here, they're amazing. For a deeper look at how to wash your quilts, I have a video that I have created. I will link it across the top of the screen right here, where I show step by step how I wash my quilts. That answers a lot of your questions. You can go down in the comment section below that and you can see how other people have chimed in on how they wash their quilts too. So it's a really good guide if you're a beginner quilter and you're wanting your quilts to last a long time. Let's look at mistake number 2, and it really goes hand in hand with mistake number 1, using harsh detergents and fabric softeners on your quilt when it isn't necessary. Our quilts are already soft. They're already soft. We made them that way. Harsh detergents and fabric softeners can wear down the fabrics on your quilt, and it can make them look prematurely old. Now, if you're going for that vintagey vibe that looks like it's like 60 years older than it actually is, it could work in your favor. But if you're wanting your brand new quilt to last for a long time and look fresh and beautiful for a long time, it can hurt the process. Also, when you're working with fabric softeners and detergents that have brighteners. That's going to change like the makeup of your fabric, okay? I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly how it works. I've just been told stay away from those. And if you're watching this and you've been a quilter for a really long time and you have an absolute favorite, perfect way that works for you in taking care of your quilts, go ahead and leave it down in the comments down below. I would love to read what works for you too. Mistake number 3 comes down to improper displaying of your quilts. Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. Let me explain this one to you. If you fold your quilt up nice and tight and you leave it at the top of your closet for years and years and never take it out and never do anything with it, it's going to get a crease in the fabric. What you're doing completely unknowingly is you're putting stress on that fabric that's right on the side. That side fabric is going to get exposed to light. It's going to get exposed to dust. It's going to get exposed to all kinds of other things. Over time, that can hurt your quilt. If you've ever inspected like antique quilts, you'll be able to see how that it was folded and where that wear and tear is coming off. I suggest finding a method that works for you to rotate them, okay? So that it is not always the exact same way. I have a quilt ladder. You've seen the one that is like, well, you can't see it right now. I have a quilt ladder that's in my sewing room. It is away from the window. It's kind of like next to the window so that that light is not directly on my quilt ladder. And I change those out frequently because one, I like to see lots of different beautiful quilts that I've made. And sometimes like I'm feeling more bright colors and sometimes I'm feeling more seasonal colors in there, right? And I like to decorate with them. I also have another quilt ladder in my living room and I change those out too. I love to put like the antique quilts that I have on there, but I know that that room gets a whole lot more sunlight. So I change that out frequently. Mistake number 4 is one that is made commonly, and that is storing your quilts in a non-breathable or a plastic container. It seems like a good idea because you are keeping moisture out, you're keeping like, you know, bugs or whatever out of your quilt, you're keeping it safe, right? But here's the problem with it. It doesn't let the quilt breathe. It can trap moisture inside the bucket, inside the container, and inside the bag, and that moisture can't escape. So even if it's like humidity or something like that, it can't escape, and that can be damaging to your fabrics over time. It also gets a little funky smelling, okay? It just gets a little funky smelling. Do not use containers that cannot breathe. Mistake number 5 is those vacuum seal bags that have like a portal on the top and you put your vacuum on it and it sucks all the air out of your bag. It makes it nice and compact and easy to store and like takes up way less space, and you think there's no way there's any stale air in there. It's all good. That's not a good one either. Yeah, they take up a whole lot less space and they're fantastic for your sweaters. But remember, our quilt is mostly comprised of air. It's fabric and air, and that nice, soft, lofty batting that we put in there, right? If you squish that into a vacuum sealed bag, over time, it can just compress your quilt and it won't be able to fluff back up because the fibers will be nice and tight and down. So now that we know what to avoid when storing our quilts, let me show you the best solution for you in storing your quilts properly. If you've got more quilts than you have people in your house, totally okay. Absolutely should have like a badge for that one, okay? More quilts than you have people in your house. This bag right here, it's a little bit deflated because it's empty, but I'm gonna show you some photos of it when it has like my quilts in it and how I store them in my closet safely. I wanna thank the Fabric Hut for sending me these bags. I am absolutely loving this company's heart and the forward momentum of what they are doing to help quilters exactly where they need it. This method for storing your quilts is going to keep your quilts looking their best for the long term. They come in 2 different sizes, so you can get ones that fit the much bigger quilts or can fit a couple small quilts in here. You can see how many quilts I actually get in these bags and how much they store. There is a transparent front panel. These bags are made of a breathable material. It's a very soft but strong material, and unlike the plastic bins, this helps keeps the quilts fresh. The bags also have double zippers, so it makes it really easy to find the zippers on here and open the bags. And they have very durable side handles as well that makes it easy to carry. When you're not using these bags, they fold up really, really flat. This is the big one. Okay, this is the big size bag, and it folds up really, really flat, and it's nice and flexible. So when the quilts are in there, it's nice and sturdy, and it's got this nice binding on the outside, which I don't know what that is in the bag world, but it looks like quilt binding to me. But it's nice and sturdy, so it maintains its boxy shape, and it's not just going to be like a, you know, like those bean bags they used to fill with stuffed animals for space and like storage saving space, right? These maintain their shape and make it really easy to put at the top of a closet or put somewhere out of the way. And when you're not using them, like if you want to get them for a friend or something, they can fold like this and take up almost no space at all. The Fabric Hut is not out there to do all of the trendy things that everybody else is doing right now, okay? They are there to meet the needs of the quilters that are not being met right now, and they are doing an amazing job. So thank you very much for sending me these bags, and I'm happy to offer you a direct link down in the description box where you can purchase a set of these. You get a larger one and a smaller one in your order, and they're super affordable and very, very handy to have, and the perfect way to store your quilts because it checks everything off the list of what you don't want when storing your quilts for a long period of time. Or perhaps you already have an antique quilt and you want to preserve it the best way that you know how. I would love to hear your comments on how you take care of your quilts. If any of this was really, really helpful to you, let's keep the conversation going. Go ahead and put down in the comments what you think about this video. If you have another tip or a special trick that you use, I would love to know about it so that I can share with other people the things that you have learned. And let's just keep the ball rolling so that we all can do the best that we can do with our quilts. And if you have a horror story, I'm totally up for hearing that too. Whew. One last thing, don't forget to go down in the description box down below and download that free quilt care sheet that we talked about. This one right here. Don't forget to go and download that free quilt care sheet. I print it out and I give it with every single one of my quilts. If you're enjoying the quilt videos that I post every single week, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and then hit the little bell afterwards so that you get notifications when I post new tips, tricks, tutorials, and all kinds of quilting fun stuff every single week. All right, I'll see you next week with more tips, tricks, and tutorials for the modern quilter. I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. Have a great day. Bye.